I'm Ashton from EventChain for Investment Pitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Han Kao, the CEO of Crypto Briefing. Han, thank you so much for being on the show today. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Hey, Ashton, how's it going? Great to be here. Very excited.
Very excited to hear a little bit about Crypto Briefing as well, Han. If you would, just kick it off with, first of all, why did you start Crypto Briefing, and what are you hoping to achieve within the cryptocurrency community?
Yeah, so it was really us scratching our own itch at the very beginning. My co-founder, John, and I, we met in a Telegram group in 2017 when we were spending a lot of time doing research on crypto investments and ICOs for ourselves. And we saw what was happening and all the fake news, paid posts, and just the general lack of legitimate source of reliable information that was available publicly for crypto investors. And we said, well, it's nice that we had the right information, but it'd be great if everyone else had it as well. So we said, what can we do? And we realized that there were two main things that were perpetuating the problem of people investing in scams and bad projects. On one hand, it was media, so fake news, paid advertisements, sponsor stories disguised as real news. And on the other hand, the lack of honest reviews, professional analysis, and reporting on these different crypto projects. So we figured, well, since we were doing all this research anyway, we might as well share it with the public and help other people avoid making bad investment, decisions. And so we started Crypto Briefing with the mission to inform, educate, and protect the cryptocurrency investor. And we would do that by having a two-pronged approach, and which would be, on one hand, an editorial component that would publish unsponsored and unbiased, honest news. And on the other hand, we would have a research component that conducted deep, heavy due diligence and published the real facts and analysis of behind these different cryptocurrency projects. And we decided from day one that we would not do any sponsored posts, advertising, or take any type of compensation from the token projects, so that we would be fully aligned with the interests of our readers.
Wow, that's great, Han. And how major would you say are the issues right now with the level of bias in cryptocurrency news? And does this also mean that CoinDesk and Cointelegraph are in that same category?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think it's important to remember that crypto media companies today exist for a reason. And as a reader, it's really important to understand the economic structure of these news sources that you're reading in order to understand what their true motivations are. And if a crypto media exists to generate profit as their primary objective, then it's pretty straightforward. You follow the money. You see where they generate money, where do they generate revenue? Is it advertising, the sponsorships? And then they'll ultimately prioritize the interests of the advertisers because that's their true customer, not their readers. So as an example, if a media company's biggest advertiser is, for example, Bitfinex and Tether, they go out of their way to publish negative news about Bitfinex to their readership, knowing that if they did so, they may lose their biggest revenue source and ultimately their ability to sustain themselves as a company. And so the line of journalistic ethics becomes quickly blurred and potentially compromised depending on how badly they need an advertiser and how necessary it is to release a piece of news. And so in the end, the customers are no longer the readership, and the readership becomes simply an asset that they leverage for the sake of advertising revenue. And so in order to really remove inherent bias, a media company has to align their economic interests with that of their reader. And unfortunately, that's a lot harder to do than it sounds.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a big dilemma. And with Crypto Briefing, are you guys focused on specific content like technical analysis and trading, or is it more so fundamentals of companies and industry news?
Yeah, it's a good question. We get asked that a lot. And so while we spend a lot of time on fundamentals, we focus on both the qualitative as well as the quantitative side of the projects in order for a holistic analysis. So charts are a visualization of quantitative data that helps us visualize and tell a story and also see trends. So for example, Ethereum may have a lot of dApps or on-chain transactions if you look at it from a snapshot. But if you look at a chart of on-chain transactions on Ethereum versus EOS or Tron, you'll see that Ethereum is actively losing ground, especially over the last 6 months. So the short answer is that we look at everything and then we pull together a cohesive story based on both the fundamentals and the quantitative analysis in order to get ahead of the news and to understand the trajectory of a project before stories break. And then we publish these 30 plus page reports detailing our learnings, our analysis, and an overall investment grade that goes along from A to F, giving investors an idea of how strong a project compares to others in the industry from the perspective of long-term viability and sustainability.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And where's your team located, and are you guys growing right now?
Yeah, so we are a non-traditional company. We're fully distributed. Everyone works remotely. Our management team is spread out around the world. I just moved back from Singapore. I'm now based in LA. My co-founder John is the managing editor. He's based right outside of St. Louis, Missouri. We've got biz dev in New York. We've got tech guys all around the world. Our research team is based in Europe. And so we, as far as geographic boundaries goes, we definitely have a competitive edge when it comes to acquiring talent, and we're hiring pretty aggressively. We've doubled our team over the last month, and yeah, we're looking to grow pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Maybe you could touch on the customers a little bit. Where do you see your customers coming from, and how do you plan to grow customer acquisition?
Yeah, so we haven't actually spent a dollar on acquiring customers just yet. We've done it pretty organically, and we've done it through partnerships. And we've just this week announced a partnership with CoinMarketCap, the world's largest online crypto destination. And so there's two pieces to the partnership. On one hand, we're going to be joining as a member of their Data Transparency Alliance, where we're going to be giving suggestions and recommendations on self-reporting standards for both the crypto projects as well as exchanges. Mm-hmm. And on the other side, they'll also be sharing summaries of our research reports as well as their investment grades on the actual token pages themselves.
Wow, that's a huge partnership. Congratulations on that, Han. CoinMarketCap is one of pretty much the top domain in cryptocurrency right now for everyone to check their prices.
So, yeah, absolutely. We're very happy to be working with them.
Wow. Congrats on that. And maybe we could talk a little bit about the business model. And you touched earlier in the interview on how a lot of cryptocurrency news outlets use advertising and sponsorship to grow their revenues. However, you guys have vowed not to have sponsored articles and things like that. So what is your plan to have a revenue model, and how are you planning to grow that?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. And up until last week, we were pre-revenue, and we've spent the past 2 years releasing all sorts of different types of free research content and innovating on different content types to bring value to our readers and see what they like, what they don't like, where they see value. And we've published over about 2,500 pieces of original content and over 100 research reports. And after all that, we've also published dozens of code reviews that walk readers through a project's code base, screen by screen, and tell them what the projects have and what they don't have, and whether or not the project is able to do what they say they're going to do. Since we don't have any advertisers, we don't have to filter our content, and we are able to be completely objective.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. So you're putting out more like cryptocurrency reports on, is it just industry news or company news, or is it actually like buy and sell signals? Like, how direct is it?
Yeah, so we've up until the last 2 years, it's been both news and research. Just last week, we launched a new subscription product called Symmetry, and the idea of Symmetry is to bring information symmetry to an industry plagued by information asymmetry. And so it's a institutional grade research product that's catered to and priced for the retail investor. And what we're going to be giving people are deep fundamental analysis reports that are about 10 reports a month that are ranging from long-term prospects that we think are fundamentally strong and have a clear case for commercial adoption to shorter-term, high-risk, higher reward prospects that where we give insight on projects that are perfectly positioned to capitalize on short to medium term trends in the industry that could yield higher gains in a shorter period of time.
That's great, Han. And what do you see for Crypto Briefing in the next 6 months? Is it just growing the Symmetry product and customer acquisition purely?
Yeah, so over the next 6 months, we're going to be continuing to get feedback on this new product that we launched. We're going to see how people like it and what their feedback is. We're going to be innovating on that and we're going to be introducing other sorts of report types that will give people even more insight on how to make smarter and more informed decisions.
Great. And are you looking for any other strategic partnerships or to work with any other cryptocurrency companies in the industry?
Yeah, we're always looking for partnerships. We think that's the best way to grow organically. And we are partnering with other data platforms. We have a few other big announcements that we will be making in the upcoming weeks. We're also looking to partner with other industry leaders that are aligned with their mission in order in terms of transparency and also in terms of the interest of seeing this industry grow in a sustainable and safe manner.
Great. I'm looking forward to that. How can more viewers learn about the news on Crypto Briefing and get a hold of this Symmetry product?
So people can go to cryptobriefing.com to see our news, our editorials, and our opinions. And in order to learn more about Symmetry, they can go to symmetry.cryptobriefing.com. That's SIMETRI.cryptobriefing.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Han. I'll leave those links in the description box below. That's all the time that we have for this interview, but I appreciate you taking the time, and let's follow up in the near future.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Ashton. It's been fun.